Hi everybody, hi lovely people, how are we? It's another week. My name is Akonsa Kijo. If it's your first time popping in here or coming across my page for the first time, I'm Konsa Kijo. Moved to Australia, so I'm based in Sydney and I moved here from Kenya a couple of years ago. I came here as an international student, and even though I'm not an international student anymore, um, I'm still very much involved with international student affairs and anything to do with personal development, career development, and anything in and everything else in between. So yeah, thank you so much for popping in. If it's the first time, you're welcome. I share a lot of endeavors or a lot of opportunities that I've had as an international student, but I also share some of the opportunities or anything that comes up, especially for people overseas who are looking at Australia as maybe a place to develop your career or a place to or an option for further studies. It can be anything. So I touch on all that. I touch on some of the exams or some of the tests that are required to to do some of these things, like get into courses, or scholarships, or any other kind of ventures that the government, Australian government, comes up with, any kind of department. So my background is social work. I have a social work with a minor in psychology and diversional therapy background, and I'm currently a diversity and inclusion officer in one of the hospitals in New South Wales. So a little bit about myself in a nutshell, but I pop in here once in a week once a week. All things remaining constant in my life, I do that. And some of the ideas, some of the things that I share is my own personal journey, my own personal opportunities that I've had, but also some things that come my way that I feel like could be beneficial to people within Australia, but also overseas. So if you're a person who've always been with me on this journey since I started a couple of years ago, thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. And if you're watching but you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, especially if what I share resonates with you, or share this video with people it might resonate with. So this I'll come back and I will talk more. This is a follow-up video of a previous video that I've done, so I'll talk more about the beyond recruitment beyond New South Wales, which is a program that the Department of Education within New South Wales, it's actually a program developed by Department of Education in New South Wales. So I talked about it before. I will link up here a video that I've done on this initiative or on this program, and this is a follow-up of that video. So stay tuned. So welcome back, and thank you again for everybody who subscribed. Thank you again for people who share my videos, people who come on my DMs. I'm Inspire YG on Facebook and Inspire YG on Instagram as well. So I'm gonna put those links up here so that you can pop in there if you have any question, and that way you can I'm able to answer any questions that people have. Even on YouTube, if you go down below on the comment section, if you leave a comment there, I get back to you. I normally do get back to people with questions as soon as I can, but obviously on direct messaging, on DM, on Instagram or Facebook, it's even much more quicker. So like I said, I don't have a background in teaching at all, but I have so much respect and value, and I see so much value in teachers. Obviously we all should. I feel strongly about that. because I feel like we wouldn't be here if it were not for teachers. And so when I came across this program a while back, not a while back, actually just over a month ago, I thought that this is a good opportunity to share with people overseas who might not always be conversant with the day-to-day, politics or government websites, and how much information it gets updated or changes within various government departments or government websites. And so this program was actually, I found it at the Department of Education's website, and I thought it was quite a brilliant opportunity for overseas teachers. And I thought that not everybody might have access to this or even be aware that this kind of a program exists, and that's why I sort of did a video and highlighted it. So thank you for everybody who shared and everybody who shared with their friends. So I did actually send an email to the Recruitment Beyond New South Wales team myself, just because I knew from that video I got a lot of questions from different people asking me a couple of questions that I didn't have answers to. And so I felt like it was better for me to actually go directly to them so that I can come back to you and give you a bit of an update. So unfortunately, at the moment, they are having I'm not sure, maybe my video is one of the places that got traction for this program, but I'm sure they have also done their fair share of advertising or created awareness around it. But they're actually getting a lot of significant amount of interest in this program, and obviously so many people have sent emails, the expression of interest. And so I think they are literally bumped right now. They're probably having like thousands of them, and they still are not keeping up. So people are not getting emails, or they're not getting responses as quick as they can. But one thing I know about Australian, public service or anything public agencies, they're really they're really efficient from experience. So they will eventually get back to you. It doesn't matter how long it takes. So don't worry, just stay patient, hang in there. And I'm very sure they're appreciating everybody who is sending the expression of interest. So the question that I asked them, the email that I sent, I'm looking at my paperwork because I don't want to miss anything. And I sent them an email and I asked whether they were looking for primary or secondary school teachers. So this is something that I wasn't aware of. Well, I knew they had said they were looking for public school teachers. I don't think there was a lot of clarity on the material that I saw on their website initially. So a lot of people sent me sent me messages asking me whether they were looking for primary or secondary school teachers. So I asked that question, and I'll just read the questions that I asked them, and then I'll come back to the answers or the responses they gave me, the feedback they gave me. So I also asked them for overseas teachers, were they looking for teachers with a degree, that is an undergraduate or a master's degree, or are they looking for anybody with a diploma, or it could be any education. I asked whether any sort of credentials could suffice. So now they got back to me, and I'm really grateful for that. So what they said was, Recruitment Beyond New South Wales program, the minimum eligibility requirements for this program, so they having a minimum of 2 years continuous secondary school teaching service. So that tells you they're actually looking for secondary school teachers. So what I don't know is whether the program was initially looking at primary school teachers as well, and then they probably had an influx of those expression of interest, or even had a cap. I'm not sure. However, at the moment, I understand they're only looking for secondary school teaching teachers, and so they require the person applying to have a minimum of 2 years continuous secondary teaching service, and this experience must be current. So you must be teaching at the moment, and you shouldn't have more than 5 years from the date of your expression of interest. So if you applied it last month, you should have been within the teaching service for in the last 2 years. So let's assume you were teaching in 2010 and you stopped teaching. Now you are applying for this, you might not qualify. So the other thing is being qualified to teach secondary school. That's the other requirement, with an undergraduate and postgraduate qualification equal to 4 years of tertiary study. So let's assume you've done an undergraduate of 2 years from overseas, and then you did a master's of 2 years. That's an equivalent of 4 years, so you've qualified. But if you've only done 2 years of undergraduate, you might not qualify. So they're saying you have to have 4 years of tertiary study. And if you do not meet the requirements, we encourage you to visit our website for guide to becoming a teacher in New South Wales Public School. So I do have the guide here, and I'll take you through the guide in a short while. So I'll just talk about what happens if you have those if you have the minimum eligibility requirement. So if you do meet the minimum requirement, you are being asked to send colored copies of your resume. And on your resume, you need to detail about your current teaching experience, including the years of employment that you have, and also the subjects that you are teaching or that you teach, and the grades or years you taught. Now, that is on your resume. You also need to provide qualification transcripts, qualification awards, so that's the testimonial. And if you have completed an academic international English language testing system, which is called IELTS, within the last 2 years, that is also something you can attach. So those are some of the requirements that's what I understand they are looking for. So this video is going to be helpful for you to know if you haven't applied yet, for you to know if you've qualified. If you have applied, this is also, even if you haven't had a response, this is something that is going to tell you if you actually qualified or not. So the guide I was talking about, because they said if you haven't qualified, go to the guide. I will send this information. I'll send the link, the New South Wales Department of Education link to the guide. It's actually a step-by-step guide to becoming a teacher in New South Wales Public School. And I'll put a link on the description box of this video, and so you can be able to go and see what are those step by step, what's the step by step guide is talking about. So it goes into details on what you need to do from getting accreditation to you getting to be able to get into the public school system, or get a job, or even apply for a job. So I'm not going to go deep into all the other things. For example, returning teachers, university students, if you're changing a career, if you're a HSC student who just finished high school, I'll go straight to overseas trained teachers and what is required of them. However, like I said, I'll put this document on the description box of this video so that you can get more informed. Now, so overseas trained teachers, if you have completed teacher education studies at a tertiary institution outside of Australia and would like to teach in New South Wales Public School, you will need to be accredited by the New South Wales Education Standard Authority and gain approval to teach by the New South Wales Department of Education. So there is an accreditation body that do give accreditation to all teachers, especially teachers from overseas as well. And so, like I said, I'll send this. There will be a link. Go through the link, and then you can see what are some of those qualifications. What are the things that they're looking for, and they assess your university qualification, and they provide an accreditation decision for you. So they will tell you whether the course you have done in your country, whether you are actually qualified to actually apply for accreditation in Australia so that you can teach in Australian public schools. So they've given you a link to go there and find out whether you've actually or know the information that you need to provide to them so that they give you a decision to know whether you can gain accreditation. If you're a teacher, if your teacher education studies were completed in a country where English is not the main language, the accreditation body requires you to include the English language proficiency. So they obviously expect you to do IELTS exam. And what I found yesterday when I was doing this research is you need to do IELTS exam. You need to get 7 each band. So I have done a video on IELTS. I'll put a link here. You can watch it and learn more about that test. And it has you're tested for language, your English literacy, you're tested for speaking, listening, and writing. So they require you to have 7 in each one of those bands, but also they require you to have an 8 in speaking and listening. So those are also some of the things to get acquainted with. So you'll be required to demonstrate that you can actually do that test and pass. And this is a requirement to gain accreditation to teach in New South Wales prior to seeking an approval to teach in New South Wales public schools. So you get accreditation, and after you get accreditation, then you have to seek approval to teach, and you do that to the New South Wales Department of Education. So for more information, obviously, they have that information on the link that I will send on the description box of this video. And the other thing to consider is, please note, to apply for this, for any public, actually it's to apply for any government jobs within Australia, you need to have a permanent residency or a citizenship. Now, the only time you get opportunities or you get jobs within the government in Australia is you can actually get temporary positions. However, you still have to have a visa that allows you to work. That's the only time. The other thing is, if you are going through the normal recruitment channel where everybody is applying, including Australians or people who identify, or people who are citizens or permanent residency, the people who have permanent residency or are citizens always take precedence to people who do not have that. However, if they are really in need and they cannot find locals to do that job, then as an overseas person, you could actually get the job, but it must be, normally it will be on a temporary basis. So, and like that's the last comment here, please note that to apply for permanent teaching positions in New South Wales public schools, you will need to be an Australian citizen and permanent resident, or have a permanent residency. So this does not apply just to teachers, it applies to every single government jobs. That's just the requirements that is there. And I think it's almost in every country where foreigners only, you can do trade and all those other things, but normally with government jobs you have to be a local. So, but for this program, the one I'm talking about, it's called Recruitment Beyond New South Wales program. It actually has those positions. It actually does have that. It's actually requiring or opening up this opportunity for also overseas teachers. So if you qualify based on the information I've shared, please, and you have already applied, please just wait. They will get back to you. They're just been bumped at the moment. They're having an influx of emails and a lot of expression of interest sent to them, and obviously it's going to take time with that backlog. However, if not, please check on that guide and see if that can help you if teaching in New South Wales school is something that you are thinking of doing, or something that you're thinking of pursuing. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't watched the previous video, please watch the previous video. It has more information on this program, and then this is just a follow-up video from that. So if you're a teacher, best wishes, and I hope that this program, I hope you can apply for this program if this is your dream, or this is something that you feel it's in line with your passion. If you know someone who is a teacher, please share this video and the other video with them, or better yet, ask them to subscribe and they can have or access some of this information that I share, that I believe it's helpful, especially for teachers around the world. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a beautiful week. And till the next one.